Hello, hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Wisdom Club podcast. We're coming to you live today. I have the amazing Heather Robbins with us. Thank you for taking the time, Heather. You are a returning guest, and I just love your energy and love your professionalism and your accountability and your organization, as we were just talking about, offline here. Real quick, for those who have not seen you with us, would you tell everybody about you a little bit, background, business, all that kind of great stuff?
Yes, of course. First, thank you for having me back. I always love being able to connect with you, Leo. You are a treasure. So I'm thrilled to be here today. So I work in Portland, Oregon. I'm a real estate broker and owner of Robbins Realty Group, a boutique brokerage based in West Linn, Oregon, which is just outside of Portland Metro. I've been in real estate for 23 years and I love it. I absolutely love it. I love selling real estate in my hometown of West Linn. I am married and we have 4 children, and our children are older now. I'm also a grandma. That's like the greatest thing ever. We are so, we were obsessed with our little granddaughter, Lucy. She is so fun. Every little new thing she does is pretty exciting. And at Robbins Realty Group, we are a women run company and hardworking mamas helping people find home. Let's see here. I'm known for dominating the West Linn market. There's no human being that sells more real estate, knows that market better than me, and it's been my life's work. I love real estate, and I love talking about West Linn, Oregon, and sharing this sweet community with those around me.
Yeah, plus you're a second generation realtor like me. And so, we're carrying torch forward. And I love hearing about your granddaughter because, we all grow up thinking like, oh, one day I'm gonna have kids and but we don't think the next step like, oh, grandkids. Like we just stop there. Like, oh, I just gotta deal with, the kid thing that I have here. But then when that happens, it's almost like, well, why didn't I never think of it? But I'm a granddad or a grandmom or whatever, right?
Here we are, grandparents, and
Yeah.
it's so fun. I love being a mother, I really do, and I just think the like icing on the cake is grandparenthood. It's been so fun to watch my daughter and son-in-law become parents, and the excitement and also the like, oh, this is new. What do we do here? What do we do that there? And my husband and I are just like, this is just so fun. We get to have front row street seats to watching them be parents, and it's been
Yeah.
super gratifying.
That's what I call the good gets better, right?
Yes. Oh, so true. The good
Yeah.
gets better. I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah, yeah. So speaking of good getting better, I wanted to have you on because privately in our own private coaching mastermind group, you had shared this amazing um, uh, kind of a small business local mastermind strategy that you've had. And really we call it a strategy, but really it's a win-win-win for everyone, meaning, hey, let's get together, do business, but also benefit both consumers, and our business gets to grow, the consumers gets the best service and the best network, around these services possible. And so I've titled this particular episode to be the ultimate small business mastermind. And really, that's really what it is, right? And it's something that anybody can build in any small business. And I want you to kind of like outline that for everyone, and then also maybe give a little, history of like how you thought of it and started. I think it's been what, 3 years ago or something like that. So I'll let you talk. Yeah, about
Okay.
that.
Oh, perfect. Well, I have such a passion for masterminds. That's how we have met each other, through our coaching mastermind. And you get to meet incredible people and really share and be open in a vulnerable way about business, right? Because as business owners, it can be lonely at times, like trying to figure out, okay, how do I do this? What about that? Does anybody else experience this? And so I really wanted to create community around small business ownership, and how can I support those in my community and create that space where we can be vulnerable and we can learn and grow together and empower each other. And so I call it the Robbins Roundtable. I started about 4 or 5 years ago, and my team helped me create the container, the framework, the organization behind it. And so I just really want to echo that, like, this was a team effort. I may be the face and the voice for it, but it was a team effort. So we believe in bringing small business owners together to empower, educate, and uplift each other. Those are the foundations or the core values that we've created this mastermind around. And so oftentimes people belong to like BNIs or like paid groups that they can be referring each other and getting to know each other. And I had been interviewed for a BNI group, and I thought, oh, I mean, this is great, but it was meeting every week at a certain time. And I have a very demanding schedule, and I'm also a mother of 4. And so at the time of this creation, I was like, I just don't know that I could commit to being there at like 6:30 in the morning every week. And then I would be referring to people that I don't necessarily know at first, or would they be my first person I would want to recommend in that industry. And so I just started thinking like, well, I should just create my own, that I can like choose who I want to be referring to and who I want as like my board of directors. And so we just took a deeper dive into that of like, okay, well, let's look at the different industries and who is a shiny star in that industry that I just love interacting with, and I want them to have that seat at the table. And so we came up with a list of industries. And some of those are like, just for example, a small boutique broker, a personal trainer, photographer, jewelry designer, flower maker, interior designer, a social media influencer, boutique owner, financial planner, and a lender. So that's really like, those were the industries that I wanted to reach out to. And I already knew some small business owners in my community that I just really loved and adored. And I really thought highly of the business they were running. And so we created Robbins Roundtable, and it is a small business mastermind. And we run a few. It started as the original one, and that was incredibly helpful. So we created some ground rules around it. And I'll share one of the ground rules. One is the golden rule, that if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. Treat others how you would want to be treated. And so that's one of our rules, is the golden rule. Just be good, do good, be good. It all comes back. So we have a few other ground rules. And then it was to have a commitment and to be there. And we do it every other month for 2 hours. And so the calendar of like who's coming and how often we're meeting and what the schedule was there for the first meeting. So everybody knew the expectations on if they were going to have a seat at that table, what that looked like. And so we have topics that we share. Every month there's a topic, but I will tell you that one of the topics that is always a favorite is what is working in your business and what is not working in your business. And it just creates this lovely conversation where we can be vulnerable and open of like, you know what, this is really working, and sharing it with the other business owners and how can they implement that into their business, and then what's not working and how can we help empower and educate and uplift that person who is feeling stuck. Because as you know, our mentor always says, if you are stuck, call me. Let's get you unstuck as quickly as possible. And so that really resonated with me. And so one of our favorite topics at Robbins Roundtable is what's working and what's not working. So this group of people has just won dear friends, amazing friends. And the outcome that has come from Robbins Roundtable is I have great supporters in the community. I'm supporting them. I'm referring business to them, and they know me and feel comfortable referring me their friends and family to help, that I can help them with real estate with. It's also been just an amazing foundation of referrals, not only to one another, but hey, do you know someone in the group that knows someone that can do this? And so that connectivity of, oh yeah, I have this person, and knowing that they're a trusted source where that referral comes from is huge. then I can reach out to them. If I'm doing some sort of event, I can say, hey, would you be willing to be a sponsor? Would you be willing to come and be part of this? Would you be willing to do a giveaway prize or a discount? And then also the cross-pollinating of databases. If I'm sending something to them that might be an item of value that they can share with their database, awesome. And vice versa. If they're sending me something where it's like a sale or a discount or a specialty item, like I want to be able to be highlighting that in my marketing as well. And then also it just creates influence in the community itself. It creates this, it makes it feel more like a small town as opposed to this big, huge community. And how can you actually create market penetration in the area? So it helps you because now you have that many more people to access to help market your company too. So I've
Yeah.
really enjoyed it. Go ahead.
Oh, no, no, go ahead. I cut you off.
Oh, okay. So the second one is a senior, for our seniors, we created a mastermind, and this one has been incredibly beneficial. We help a lot of seniors at Robbins Realty Group. It's a passion of mine and my mother's, who we've been business partners for 23 years, in helping seniors. I feel like that is a demographic that is underserved, and oh my goodness, they are our elders. Let's make sure that we are taking care of our seniors. And so we created a concierge service at Robbins Realty Group to help seniors, and then a mastermind of those who are exceptional in this senior demographic. Who was helping them? Who was exceptional? And let's have a mastermind of those people where we can continue talking about ways to serve our seniors.
Yeah, that's a really super amazing. I wrote down quite a few things that I wanted to highlight. When most people that I meet, business owners, small business owners, long time business owners, short time business owner, whatever it is, they're all always at some point in time. They always want to be in a networking group. And so when I talk to people, they're like, oh yeah, I go to the chamber and I do this, and then I checked out BNI, but there's probably a handful of other ones are BNI like. I'm personally in a BNI chapter and very heavily involved in it, but there is a heavy structure around accountability because you're paying to be there and you can only allow a certain amount of absences, which was one of the reasons why that wasn't going to work for you because of scheduling. And then and you have access to a lot of people, but a lot of people there are also just trying to you don't necessarily have the kind of rapport and relationship that you're talking about, because you have to go in and then you start building those things with them, but then they have relationship with other people around other chapters, so it can get kind of not messy but complicated as far as directing your brain, like, oh, I got to connect this person, that person, where what you're talking about, it's very tight knit, very close together, where you can be of support as well. Because if you're in a networking group, doesn't necessarily mean that you're supporting. And so support, really jumped out as like, hey, this business needs support. We all rally around to help support them. So when you go into a networking group, no one talks about that. Everybody talks about referring. How do I refer you business, and how can you refer me business? Hopefully like I refer you and then you can refer me more, and things like that. But a lot of these other things don't get talked about as the value of the networking or mastermind group of any sort, is the support, the structure, and learning how to for some people it's a little bit of a challenge in learning how to like really collaborate at a very focused high level, because you only have this much amount of time in the 1 month. You're gonna, that 2 hours, you're gonna make sure that you get everything out of it as much as possible. And that's one of the struggles with a lot of the business owners, that with BNI, you got to show up every week. And then on top of that, there's other events that almost mandatory to show up. And then you're recording all of your numbers and stuff to show everybody. So there's a lot, involved, but there's also a lot of a really positive thing that goes back into not only you personally, but business wise. And the last thing I wanted to kind of highlight on is that again, when you go into networking, you're not talking about these things. So this is why I want to have you on, so talk about these things. Is that when you're in a networking group, you know, get to do your elevator pitch, you get to talk about your business, you get to do that in a way that you can try to polish your speech and stuff like that, but also having other people know your business, and then they can do that speech for you with other people. And then the last thing you mentioned was the cross-pollinating aspect, which I think is just, it's an exponential reward type of thing, right? I'm going to write my newsletter anyway. Let me write 2-3 lines about you. You're promoting this or what's happening in the termite industry or in the whatever industry that might affect kind of housing in general. I mean, people want to know that and have somebody who be able to tell you what's going on, put it in your newsletter, and maybe you're having a promotion, or maybe it's, I know for us, when it gets hot in the summertime, all the ants come in the house and stuff like that, you know, and so they can highlight that and say, hey, you know, summer's coming up, maybe it's time to just do a quick routine, you know, check, so that you don't have problems when the heat comes. So anyway, all of those things like culminate. I mean, there's so many benefits to do this. Like every single business owner should do this if they can, right?
Absolutely. And I think that oftentimes we overthink things. We can keep it very simple. Our common friend Melanie, she when she was starting out, she ran an ad for business owners wanting to be part of a networking group, and she was so impressed by how many people applied, and it's been an incredible thing for her. And she implemented, right. Oftentimes we have a paralysis of analysis. And I would tell anyone listening today, please don't overthink it. Like, identify who are the people that you may already know that are business owners in your area that you enjoy connecting with. Let's create a group, invite them and say, hey, this is what I want to do. And it doesn't have to be every week. It doesn't have to be every month. Mine is every other month. Because I know business owners are busy. To get 2 hours from them is a big commitment. So I want to make sure that there's a lot of value and content to serve them and to create together as a group in our mastermind, so that it's worth their while. So I'd say don't overthink it. And then, you know, when we're looking at next steps, it's like, okay, somebody's listening today is like, yes, this is something that I want to do. How do I do it? It's identifying, first step, identifying who it is that you want to have part of it. Second, name it. I always like to tie it back to Robbins Realty Group, because that is our small business. So mine was named Robbins Roundtable. And then, so you've named it. And if you want to create marketing around it, awesome. I love marketing. So we're going to have a logo and we're going to have aesthetics to go with this mastermind. But again, don't overthink it. It doesn't have to be that way. And then start interviewing. And how I did it was a much slower process than how Melanie did it. And next time I start another mastermind, I'm going to do Melanie's way, because I'm like, oh my gosh, so efficient and so organized how she did it. I watched on social media of like, who are the influencers in my area that are tied to a certain industry, and then I'd meet them and say, you know, how can I be of value to you? And I just get to feel like, are they the right fit? And if so, then I would extend the invitation at the end of that meeting with them. They didn't know they were being interviewed. It was just more of like, tell me about your business. And if I felt like they might be the right fit, I extended the invitation. And then you create a calendar and a schedule and you send the invite out. And there's going to be some who are like, yes, I'm super interested and I want to do it. And usually what I found is that they wanted to do it, but they may not be ready at that time. And that's okay. Then you just keep looking for those who are. And start that first meeting with, they explain in 2 to 3 minutes what their company is, and you go around the table and everybody explains, and you have name tags so everybody can start getting comfortable with names. And then it's what's working, what's not working. And there's your first meeting. It doesn't have to be very challenging. On the agenda, when they came to the first meeting, it was our rules, our core values, and then the calendar, and then the topic of discussion. And it, again, don't overthink it. And looking for those candidates, you could do what Melanie did, was just run an ad and like put it on the local community page. Hey, I'm creating a mastermind and I'm looking for people in these industries, and you're done.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And so for let's just say because we're both in real estate, so if you're a real estate agent out there, so what would be the three things that they could do right now if they want to start this? So number one, if they wanted to just kind of label and have a name or something like that, and then the two methods that you outline of finding the people to be in your group is one, put out an ad, put out a post, put out something like, hey, and the people who thinks that that's a great idea, that they want to apply, you want those people. We want the people that are interested and want to do that, and then half of the work is done, like at least they want to, right?
Yeah.
And then but on the other side of it too is maybe you want to handpick your people, and so you want to like, hey, I want the best people, and you can do those researches like you did. Neither one of them is better than the other. It's just two different ways of how you think and how you want to go about it for your specific area. And then the third is just, hey, put on your ground rule and just set a date. I learned from the events I've done, over the years, is that you can brainstorm all the stuff you want, but once you set a date, then everything else falls into that and it happens. And
It
so
doesn't.
most people tend to do it the other way around. They try to figure out all this stuff and then they set a date, and then now all the stuff has to fit in the date, as opposed to everything already predetermined that this is the date that's going to happen. Can you make it or not? Number one, are you a fit? Number two, right? And then would I like you to be in the group? And is this is the right fit for everybody?
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree. It can be very easy and smooth and organized. It's just have the plan and implement.
Mhm.
But you and I both know so many people don't implement. They just think about the plan, and then get distracted.
Yeah, yeah. So I want to share. I would like for you to share for everyone. I mean, the two groups are fantastic. The senior one I love as well, because we do have a lot of people here. I get a lot of calls and things like that with seniors needing help one way or another. They need to move to rent somewhere else. They're moving in with their family. They have assets they need to figure out, and it's just too much. It's just too much for them to handle. But what kinds of results and things, give us some experiential things with the two groups that you can share with people, like how maybe a story or two of how business is being passed and how events are happening and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Okay, perfect. So I have found that just because these small business owners know me and I know them, that they'll say, oh, there's a small boutique um, owner that's in my mastermind, overheard somebody talking about moving here, and she's like, oh, I have a great recommendation for you. Here's Heather Robbins and she'll take care of you. And then she followed up, hey, I just wanted to let you know this person's reaching out. Like, it was that simple because she's been meeting with me for the last few years. It was very like organic for her to say, I have someone great. And so those are the little conversations that come up over and over that make a huge impact on my business. And I'm always so grateful when people refer to me. And then also, like on our West Linn community page, I'm amazed at when somebody's saying, hey, I'm looking for a local realtor. Those business owners show up and they recommend me. I've not asked them to, but they are familiar with me so that they feel completely comfortable referring me, and vice versa. If somebody is um, looking for a flower design, I'm going to recommend them to my flower designer who's in my mastermind, who I know like gives her heart and soul into everything she does.
Hmm.
So that's very common, but then it's also we rally behind each other to
Hmm.
support each other's business efforts and events. And it is very common when I'm doing an event for many of those mastermind attendees to show up.
Hmm.
Just they just want to help. They just want to support, which is huge. So it's like I really do think of it as like a board of directors for my company. Like we sit around and we sit at a round table and we talk about what's working, what's not working. and empowering, educating, and uplifting each other. And so outside of the referring of it, it is just so nice to have trusted colleagues who are also business owners that are helping you and watching out for you. That security and comfort is huge.
Yeah, and I think most of the agents, when they start out, as you know, they have their SOI, which is their family and friends and people they know or from past work that they've done or things like that. And they try to, stay in contact with them and hopefully get referral business from them or do business, for them and something like that. And that's kind of the extent of where their SOI kind of stops. And this method here extends that, right? You're continue to build these relationships with new people, and then also when you see new businesses come into town or something like that, greet them, tell them who you are and things like that, and tell them how you can help them, and then right away they can form that relationship, and that extends, because all of these businesses are also doing their own marketing, their own stuff, and so they are meeting new clients. And so in our mastermind, you and I, we talk about our best clients come from our best clients, but then in the same token, we don't just stop there. Our best vendors come from our best vendors, right? Or our best referral partners come from our best referral partners, because they will also talk to their other businesses too. So I think too many times when we enter into real estate, we're like, oh my god, it's the 10th time I'm asking this person if they have referral for me, and this is a good compliment to continue to extend your reach as far as relationships and a sphere of influence type of network going, right?
Oh, absolutely. I love that point that you bring up, that it really does extend your sphere of influence. And it's amazing how quickly it can happen. We've talked about bamboo before and the growth of bamboo, and how at first, like when you water and nurture bamboo, the first 4 years, nothing happens. But if you stop, it will die. The fifth year, you see this exponential growth, and it can grow up to 60 feet in a few months. That's how I think of these masterminds, is like run, and you don't have to run just one. You could run many masterminds, and it takes a while for everybody to get comfortable. And then the kind of growth that you can all experience by working together is phenomenal. Just like bamboo, it grows very, very quickly and strong. It's a long-term business idea.
Yeah, and it's an investment. It's an investment time and relationship. But like you said, it's kind of a hockey stick, right? It just you know at some
Yes.
point would take off. When you have this kind of a perfect cohesion, and then things just click. So I think the last thing that I would kind of say more about this is that the you can join any kind of networking group. There's paid one just like BNI. There's a chamber, and there's associations may have some groups and things like that. But imagine if this is one that you created out of thin air, right? And
Mhm.
you get to decide how it goes. And for the leaders out there, or to be leaders in our industry, I mean, I couldn't recommend it more. We're already interfacing with vendors regardless. That's just part of our job. They're always asking us for gardeners, plumbers, interior designers, or people who sell furniture and things like that. That just comes with part of purchasing a home. And so we're already doing that. Why not bring them closer so that you can have repeat business, not only for them but also for yourself, and then build that beautiful relationship that just takes off.
Absolutely. And I love the analogy of the hockey stick. It's so true. I've experienced it. I can't advocate enough for creating or participating in a mastermind. We've talked about BNI, and that's just one of the many types of associations out there. I wanted to create something that worked around my schedule, and this served that purpose. But oftentimes, if you can be part of other associations for masterminding, Any way you can associate with other business owners, I'm going to advocate for because I think it's such a great way to go. So thank you so much. I'm so passionate about this because I know it brings results to business owners. And that's, if there's anything I can provide for content follow up wise, I'm happy to, because I just want others to excel and to prosper in their efforts as small business owners.
Well, you did an amazing presentation for us with slides and all that stuff, and maybe at some point we can revive this and come back and remind people, of this, great business strategy that we have to grow. And maybe showing the slide would also remind them, like, hey, if you didn't take action the last time, maybe take action, this time. And I'm always here to help anyone that of the topics that we talked about, so that they can get off the ground and just help our real estate community, to do better, to be better. And when we're surrounded with people like you, I'm just so grateful to be able to do this and share, what a successful strategy that you've made here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to come back. It's always a joy, and I hope that inspires someone to do it, because creating a mastermind it's a powerful thing, and it's so gratifying.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
thank you
Well,
so much.
well, I appreciate your time, and I'm also very grateful for our relationship and your friendship. And I know that you have some homes appointments to go to, and I'll let you go. But uh, if you're watching, whether in a replay or a live, I put her description and also her link of her website, and also the our podcast if you want to rewatch. And if you want to reach out to me, we're happy to kind of help guide you. It's really a pretty simple thing, but there's just a few things that are just essential to get it going. And I'd love to hear about what masterminds that you're creating out there. So thank you so much. Have a great day, and we will see you soon.
All right. Thanks, Leo. Okay. Bye bye.
Bye.